What is up, guys? Action Beer Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look at the Major Motoko Kunizagi from Figma. So this is the SAC 2045 version, if I remember correctly. That's what the show is called. This is Figma's third time they've done a major figure. The first time was the standalone complex version from, I think it was the second movie, but then they also did a series, like an animated series off of standalone complex. So that's what that's based off of, and then the one after that they called the new movie version. And that one I wanted because she had the blacked out stealth suit. And unfortunately, both figures are insanely fucking expensive now on the aftermarket, which makes no sense. But I could go on and on about how that shit doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Figma decided to do a version of Major Motoko from SAC 2045, which I had no idea this was coming out until I think it was sometime in the summer of last year is when Winter Wonderland happened, or whenever Winter Wonderland happened last year, which I think was like towards the end of 2019 to the beginning of 2020, is when they showed the kind of prototype for this and announced that they were doing this. And I was telling Andy, I was like, holy shit, like they're doing another Major Motoko. I'm gonna jump on this. And so I went on Amazon Japan and I pre-ordered her, I want to say in November or December last year, maybe September. And yeah, she ended up shipping in, God, I want to say sometime in the summer is when I got her. So I've had her since then. I just haven't reviewed her because she had a QC issue out of the box. And both Allende and I had QC issues out of the box with her, and I was like, really? Like, really, Figma? Like, we're really doing this? You know, considering that Figma figures are now getting more expensive than what they used to be. I mean, they used to be, what, $40, $50? Then they went up to $60, now they're like $70 plus. And with the DX versions that they want to do now, they're like over $100, and I'm like, holy shit, like, and you don't really get much of a difference between the two. You get like maybe one or two extra things depending on the character, and it's like, really, like this is the quality that, you know, we're getting. And it's odd because you usually don't expect these things with import figures. I mean, for Mafex, yeah, you know, they've had some, you know, they've had a track history of QC issues, but it's weird that a company like Figma would have issues. So, and I went back and forth with Good Smile Japan, giving them the information they needed, and the last email they sent me was that they wanted to see a video of the issue at hand. And I figured, you know what, I will just do this review, that way you guys can get the review that I promised months ago, and Good Smile can see the issue at hand, so then they can hopefully send me the replacement part I've been asking for around 2 months now. So with that being said, though, let's talk a little bit more about this figure. So I am a huge fan of the sci-fi aesthetic, the cyberpunk aesthetic, you know, with Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, you think what else, RoboCop, Terminator, and there's a lot of animes that I like Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that, that dive into that kind of futuristic, you know, kind of cyberpunk-esque design. And I really like it, and I dig her design because I've actually gone back and started playing Cyberpunk 2077 again, like 7 months after I bought the game, because now they put in updates and all that shit, and it's amazing because you see a lot of characters that kind of look like the Major here, and it's cool. And I've seen a lot of really talented people go into the game and actually make do a character build of Major Motoko from Ghost in the Shell, and there's actually a cool Easter egg in the game. Like it's a side mission that you have to do, and they mention Major Motoko, and it's really cool that you know, the people at City Project are really big nerds about that. It just sucks that, you know, the top heads at City Project Red, the corporate side of the company, thought that the game was ready when it clearly was not. And yeah, so it's cool to kind of, you know, appreciate this figure a little bit more now that I've kind of dived a little bit more into the game. But yeah, like I said, I've always dug that kind of cybernetic-esque kind of look. So to me personally, this is my favorite design of the Major, and this is probably the best design for the Major that we've gotten, because it's the most subtle and kind of unique design that we've gotten from her, and I dig it. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and you know, we'll dive into the paint, you know, the sculpt, the accessories, articulation. I'll do a couple of size comparisons, and then we'll wrap up this review. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Major's paint. So let me go ahead and grab her real quick. Okay, so in terms of her face, it's actually relatively clean. Like the water slide, or the decals they did for her eyes, they look very cybernetic, as they should. I like this little symbol here on her. I'm guessing this is some sort of bodysuit. I don't know what that symbol is because I haven't really seen the show, or enough of the show to tell you exactly what that is, but it's really nicely done. And then her hands, really nicely done too, with the fingerless gloves. I like that. I like the color here for her pants. Pretty cool, and there's these little areas of glossy black throughout, which is nice. And then her boots are actually really cool too. It's like a mix of, I can only assume is some sort of glossy, it's like a mix of glossy black and matte black, and they look really cool. They look like combat boots, so I dig it. I dig it a lot. So yeah, her paint is actually, like I said, it's relatively good. And then for her hair, I kind of like what they did, because they did it in this like darkish blue, but they went and added, but the way that they painted it, they kind of did, like, it looks like they kind of either airbrushed it or dry brushed a little bit of black throughout, so whenever light hits her hair, it like gives off these shadow effects, and it gives the figure more depth in terms of her face, which is really cool. Because like, see right here, see how it, well, for me off camera, it's like that top half right here is like, it looks like it's black because of the way the light's hitting it. So I really like the way that they did that. And Figma usually does some pretty cool stuff with the hair. Like, for example, I'll use my girl Miyamoto Musashi from she's from one of the Fate games. I don't really follow the Fate series that often. I know who Miyamoto Musashi is. This is like a gender-bent version of him in the Fate universe, but I dig her a lot. But like, see the way that the hair is lit, or the way that Figma paints the hair, it's like it catches shadows really well, and I like that. And it helps for whenever you want to take pictures of your figures, because it just gives them a little bit more character, and I like that. I really like when companies go that distance. So yeah, that's essentially her paint. Now we're going to take a look at her sculpt. Okay, so let's take a look at her sculpt. So in terms of her sculpt, it's actually really nicely done. There's a lot of, for such a, you know, kind of casual, I would call this a casual attire for the major, but for a casual attire it's actually really nicely done. The hair is really nicely done. You can see there's some areas where they sculpted her bangs kind of look like several clumps of hair together, and then there's these little areas where there's like on the sides of where the bangs are cut, or I'm sorry, the bangs, the bob that she has is cut. There's some areas where there's like singular hair sculpted. It's sorry, my camera wants to focus on the comment writers back there, but you can see right there, like if I turn it this way, you can see that it's an individual sculpt, and even on this side too. And then there's areas where they went and kind of sculpted like one or two strands, and then if you flip it on the back, you can see where the cut, where like you can see exactly where they cut her hair, which is awesome. You know what I mean? That's really cool, because it looks like she actually, you know, went to the salon and got her hair cut, or wherever you get your hair cut in the future. Her jacket, I really dig her jacket. It's cool. It's got, you know, this kind of glossy, kind of darkish blue color to it, and there's areas where you can see back there, there's some lining detail. You can see where they sculpted the collar. You see the little individual zipper parts on the jacket, the little zipper teeth. There's no actual zipper sculpted on there, but you know, you can see where the sleeves are rolled up here, and the scrunched up parts, the wrinkles on the shoulders of the jacket and on the sides. So it's cool. I like the little line work that they did on her little bodysuit here. It's real similar to a figure I want to hopefully take a look at the end, hopefully by the end of the year, if I can like finish putting together the last few parts. Oh well, that's one of the figures. This is it right here. It is actually a model kit. It's the AT. Wow. Okay, that's definitely not the most flattering fucking angle to shoot a review. It was just like straight cheese in your face. I am sorry about that. So yeah, as you can see, she kind of has the same thing going on. However, they gave you, let me see, I bagged her stuff up because my review area was a mess, and I was like, nope, we are not about to do a review here and not do that. So let me do a little jump cut real quick and show you what I mean. There we go. So yeah, I had to take apart some certain things and put them back together. But you can see here, it kind of has the same thing going on with her. Like the kind of lower half of her kind of looks like this with the kind of bodysuit going on. Excuse me, but yeah, that's gonna be an interesting review for sure. I'm sorry about the whole like choo-choos in your face thing. It's not my intent for my reviews. And then with her pants, I really like the way they did her pants. They look very futuristic, and because she works for, you know, the I forget what it's called, but she's essentially part of she's like a police officer, or not a police officer, like a detective, for a certain like task force in the police department. And so she kind of looks like these would be like the kind of getup that you would see. So it's cool. I like the little pouches they sculpted here, so you can see that she would maybe have you know, rounds for her handgun or for a submachine gun in either one of these, so it's cool. It's not like you know, Rob Liefeld, you know, fucking pouches in your face and shit, but that's cool. And there's some little areas where there's wrinkles. And then her boots are just beautifully sculpted too. All the individual laces and the lace holes, and then the laces are tied. And then if you flip her over, you can see all the textured details on her boots. You can tell they're combat boots. So it's cool. It's really fucking cool. Then we flip her on the back, you can see her holster, and that's also beautifully sculpted. Looks like a quick draw holster, which is essentially what it is. So, you know what I mean? You know, looking at a couple of pictures and looking at the figure, it looks exactly like the model in the show. So I dig that. But yeah, that's essentially going to be her paint and sculpt. Oh, and then kind of forgot to talk about her. I think this is supposed to be a belt, but and then there's a little, they even sculpted little notches, little loop holes in the belt where you slide the belt through on the pants. So it's cool. It's a really cool design. And I dig it a lot. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at her accessories now. Okay, so we are going to talk about the Majors accessories now, and this is where I'm going to address my issues with the quality control, as well as the lack of accessories, in my opinion. Let me talk about the let me talk about the quality control issue here. This is what I've been trying to talk to Good Smile about for about 2 months now, back and forth. And obviously there are time differences, you know, them being in Japan and me being in the US, you know, so obviously the time zones are different. So, you know, it's not really their fault that, you know, I would get a message like a day or two later because of the time zone difference. But this right here, this is my issue. This is the thing that I've been trying to address, and I haven't really seen anyone else have this issue, so it may just be with my copy. But okay, so you can see she's holding this rifle that she comes with no problem, right? But, and I'm gonna just show you right now. See how this arm stays in. You know, you can swivel it. You know, she can bend her arm, and I can bend it all the way to that point right there, and it looks like, you know, it's staying in place, right? You do anything with this, do you see the issue? This is tight. This feels secure, and it's not going to pop out unless I plug it out and plug it back in. Okay, so I'm guessing that was, oh, that's just her thing. That was not supposed to come off. Let me figure out how that's supposed to go back on there real quick, and then, okay, pretty sure that's how it's supposed to go back. Yeah, that's how the other one looks, right? Okay, yeah, so that was a separate piece. But see how I plugged it in here and nothing feels loose, like nothing feels like it's gonna pop out. It is with this arm right here that I have this issue. You can see that this part is not, I'll lay her down for a minute. You can see this part is not flipped around. It's exactly in place like it should be. And yet, for some particular fucking reason, you plug this into her arm and it just, there's no tight connection. You know, it's like you move her arm around or you go to bend it too much and now it wants to stay in place. But, you know, you bend her arm or you try to move it around or do anything and it just wants to pop out. And I don't understand it because, you know, why is it this one is so secure and in place, but yet, you know, you go to bend her arm too much and it just pops out. Yeah, with this one, I can bend that all the way and it doesn't even push the joint out. And this is where my issue lays with this figure, is that because I want her with the jacketed look, I can't have her with this without this arm wanting to pop off so much. And I've had her arm pop off in every shot that I took of her arm, this arm always wanted to pop out. And it's because Figma, and I'm very surprised that this is the issue, Figma did not engineer this pop and swap option very well, which is why you get this torso here and all these little plugs, is because you're supposed to pop off all these little T-plugs and pop her head on there and all that stuff so that you can get the look without the jacket. But I dig the jacket look more, so I don't really, you know, I'm not going to really use that. I'd rather have her with the jacket. But it sucks that I can't really pose her around and play with her because we have this issue. And this is the issue I've been trying to address to Figma for 2 months, and, you know, they have yet to, you know, fix the issue. So I'm hoping that me doing this review and me sending them this review, that this will address the problem that I had, and that they'll fix my issue and either send me a new torso or send me a new joint, something, you know, send me a new part that'll plug into this securely so that I can, you know, play my fucking figure and not have to deal with this. And this is some bullshit that we shouldn't be dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, this figure was, what, 70-80 bucks after shipping from Amazon Japan, and that was after the, you know, discount when she, because the way Amazon Japan works is when you order from them, if you pre-order from them and the price goes up, or it drops down before the release date, they'll give you that lower price. So that was the lowest price for her. But, you know, this is bullshit. This is ridiculous that, you know, it's, you know, that I'm getting these issues. And I literally just had to deal with this shit with the last import figure I bought that I had to deal with this shit was Glenn. You know, Motoko sent me 2 of the same heads. And luckily my man Brandon Wong is taking care of me, and he talked to the person that, you know, his distributor, and they were able to talk to Mafex, and Mafex was able to send him a new head. So thank you, Brandon Wong. Thank you so much for you know, taking care of me like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's so hard to get a hold of Mafex and Revoltech and all that stuff to try to fix issues like this. So it's awesome that, you know, people in the community are willing to help you out, and that's awesome. So let's talk about her other accessories that she comes with. So she comes with 2 extra faceplates. This one, she's looking to her left, or my right, her left. If I could actually get this thing to focus and not focus on the figure, because we're not talking about the figure, we're talking about the accessories for said figure. There we go. So you can see she's looking to the left, she's angry. This would be her aggression face, and that turned out really nice. And then you get this face where she's kind of looking to the right. She just has a straight face. Like there's a kind of a smile, but it's just kind of a just blank face. And then you get this face right here. She's just kind of looking blank, straight ahead. So those are the face plates. And then in terms of her hands, you get all these different hands. You get a set of open hands, or I call them jazz hands. You get a set of these kind of grabbing hands. You get a set of fists. You get a set of trigger fingers. You get a set of these open hands, which these are like your gripping hands for the guns. And then yeah, that's all the hands that you get. So you get 4 sets of hands altogether. So, or I'm sorry, yeah, 4. Actually, no, 5. You get 5 sets of hands. My apologies. You get 5 sets. So yeah, not too horrible. And then of course, like I said, you get the Figma baggie as always, and you get the Figma stand. And then in terms of her accessories, she comes with this rifle. This futuristic rifle, which is cool. It's cool. It's very sci-fi-esque. I like it. So that looks cool. It's got a sight at the top. So it's cool, you know. And then she also has her handgun, which she keeps in the holster here, which you can take out. And this looks to be some type of 45 caliber or 9mm. That's what this looks like. And it's pretty cool looking. Let's see if I can zoom in here and talk about this, because I think it looks pretty cool. It's different than any of the other. She knocks people over, man. But yeah, it's cool. It's nicely sculpted as a red dot. Wow, a red dot sight at the bottom. Which is cool. So she'd be using that to, you know, hunt down other, you know, cyborgs and stuff like that. So it's cool. I think that's awesome. That's talking fucking hail is hitting the window outside. Lovely. But yeah, looks dope. So I like the guns. They kind of remind me of the little armory guns that you get with the Tomy Tech figures. Which I want to look at one of those figures one of these days. I think I have one on pre-order and it doesn't come out till next year. But yeah, I'm just really, man, I'm just really fucking disappointed. Hopefully I can just cut that out. Yeah, we'll just jump cut that. But I'm just really disappointed that, you know, I'm dealing with this issue because, like I said, I've bought Figma figures before and I haven't had any issues with them. I bought some used, I bought some new. Like for example, I bought Tracer. I bought her for $30, I think, off eBay, like last year or something like that, and I've had no issues with her. All of her joints are still tight. None of her pegs feel like they're gonna break. Her arms don't feel like they're gonna fall out, and she even has these rolled up sleeves for the bomber jacket. It's like none of this shit feels like it's gonna break or anything, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like the one figure that I was looking forward to that has to have issues. That sucks. So yeah, I'm really, man, Figma, not too pleased with that shit. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But yeah, that's pretty much it for accessories, which I'm really surprised because, like I said, there have been other figures that I've bought that have come with more stuff, and it's weird that she didn't come with a lot of stuff because it's not like, you know, you can't just make up guns to give her or something. You know what I mean? Because as cool as it is to have her with this assault rifle and this pistol, I mean, it's cool that they gave her guns in the first place. It's like, I mean, you guys could have just, you know, crafted some shit. Like my man Spike here is holding some guns I got from one of the I guess what's her name, Wraith, I think's her name, or something like that, from Apex Legends. I've played Apex before. It's not my game. I prefer Titanfall instead, and a lot of these guns that you see are actually from Titanfall. They're Titanfall 2 guns. But you can see that she came with like this, you know, kind of futuristic P90, and she came with that kind of futuristic Glock, and then she came with this little, you know, futuristic, you know, 45 caliber, and it's like, you know, and she was, shit, I think she was like $5 or something like that when I got her, and they had her at my job, and they had a Bloodhound too, and I should have picked them both up. And by the time I, you know, decided, fucking, I'm gonna go get Bloodhound, he was gone. It sucked because he had the badass design. But anyway, my point is like, why can't you, you know, give us a couple more accessories with her? You know, I mean, if this is all we're getting, you know, for that $70, you know, you could give her, you know, a little bit more. You know, give her, you know, a shotgun, or, you know, a sniper rifle or something, man, you know, an SMG, you know, instead of just that. So, you know, kind of sucks that, you know, kind of get gypped a little bit with her, especially with the QC issue, but that's going to pretty much cover accessories. So we'll go ahead and take a look at her articulation now. Okay, so we're going to take a look at her articulation now. So in terms of the majors articulation, her head is on the usual Figma joint, so she can look up this much, she can look down this much, she can look to the left, to the right, and she's got quite a bit of sass, as the major does. The arms can rotate 360, and they have the cool Figma joint in there that acts like a butterfly joint, so the arms can go forward that much, back that much. They can drop down, go up, sit straight like that if you wanted to. Her arms move up this much. They can go all the way down her sides, as you saw. The joint here is tricky, trying to line this up with that to make sure that the sculpt doesn't look like it's broken up. So yeah, you can see if you can put her arms to her sides, no problem. She does have the swivel here in the arm, you know, to act like the, because these arms pop off. She does have a 90-degree bend in the elbow, pushes apart from the wrist, so she can move her hand up and down like that. If you rotate it, she can move side to side. And in terms of her articulation, she has a double ball, which is new because I haven't seen this before on Figma figures. Usually it's just there's a cut at the diaphragm and that's it. But she can crunch forward this much. She can crunch all the way back this much. She can move to the left, to the right. Yep, see, it's that fucking arm falling off again. And then she can, you know, get all kinds of movement there. Her legs can move up this much, so she can kick that far. She can move her leg back this much. And notice the holster and the ass does not get in the way for articulation. She can do the splits. Just that thigh cut in there. Single bend in the knee. You can also rotate this as well. I should this way. There we go. So you can see right there. And she moves her foot back this much. Move forward that much. She has an ankle too. So let's try to fix her legs here. Line everything back up. But I knew at some point that arm was going to fall off. I already mentioned this with the accessories. That's one of my main issues with her, is that this fucking arm doesn't want to stay up. Let me see if I can get it to move. There we go. Throw a kick here. I mean, I guess it kind of works that her arms come off because if you've seen Ghost in the Shell, you've seen the movies, you know that the Major's body gets pretty fucked up. So yeah, she can throw kicks pretty well. Let's see if I can cock her head back there. So she can like throw. See, she can throw kicks, no problem. So that's good to know, and you can see nothing back there gets in the way. Now, can I get her to balance like this? That is a good question. Let's see if she'll stay balanced here. guess not even. She literally balanced off camera here. Nope. That's it. Alright, there you go. Yep. Alright, there you go. So she's throwing herself a kick there. Yeah. She poses really nicely. Now let me get her straightened up and then we'll do a size comparison with a couple of figures. Okay, let's take a look at some size comparison. Oh, I'm sorry. That is someone else's thing. Okay, let's take a look at what she looks like next to some other figures. So here she is next to the SH figure where it's Spike Spiegel. During the making of this review, I took quite a few different pictures with her and Spike just because I feel like out of all the figures I have in my collection right now, her and Spike just kind of fit, and plus this is two of my favorite animes, so I feel like they fit together, and I could definitely see them either, you know, running into each other, or Spike helping her on a mission trying to track down someone. So yeah, it works out. So that's how she scales next to an SH figure. And here is how she scales next to a female Figma figure, the Figma Tracer from Overwatch. And mind you, Tracer is the smallest figure they've done for the regular Overwatch ones. I'm not counting the Ninjoroids. Here she is next to a Mafex figure, the Mafex Gwen, which hopefully, as soon as I get that part, I'll be working on her review. Compared to a Rebel Tech figure, here she is next to the amazing Yamaguchi Harley. Oh, there we go. That's how those two scale. And then we'll do a Mezco figure. So move Miss Dragon Armor Girl out the way there. So here is how she scales next to the Mezco 112 Descending Knight Batman. As you can see, Bruce is standing quite tall over her. And then here is how she scales next to one of the new Hasbro Victory Series Fortnite figures, which is Lynx, but I did put the Mezco Catwoman head on there, and whenever I get to review her, you'll see why I did that. So there is that. Batman almost fell over. And then we'll compare it to a Jazzverse figure. Here she is next to another character I could kind of see her running around with, since Figma has yet to drop Batu, which is her, the person that you see her with the most in the anime. I figured that her next to someone who looks like his equivalent, which is Meowscles from the Jazzers line. And this figure is something else. He's fun. He's definitely a fun figure. And he was one of the ones that I wanted the most, because I mean, just look at him. Look at that little face. And then just look at him, he's buff as fuck. He's got the head of a kitten and the body of a fucking nightclub bouncer, you know what I mean? And look, he even has Tim's on. So, you know what I mean? And it's cool because, you know, again, like I've been saying with the Fortnite figures, you can literally fit them into anything. So I have them with one of the submachine guns from Fortnite, and then the Spartan laser from Spartan Cat from the Spartan collection from Jazzers, and it's like they all fit in perfectly. And then here I'll compare it with one of the female figures that I have. The only Jazzers female figure that I have from them, which is Valkyrie. She's here with something I kind of want to brush over. I think I'm going to wait until the next kind of sit down video as her face falls off. Kind of want to talk about these, but I'm going to wait. My God, woman, can you stand, please? Please stand. Oh, she's going to fall back. Oh. You know, as I'm adjusting her here, I'm gonna keep talking about what I was trying to say. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about these I almost said Kyoto. These Kotobukiya weapons kits. Kind of want to talk about those too. But as you can see, Val is definitely taller than her, and yeah. So, and then of course, if you wanted to see her next to yours truly, there you go. I am taller than her. So, yeah. But I do plan on. Well, let me say this before. So my final thoughts on her. She's a cool ass figure. My issues or the QC is that shit needs to get fixed immediately. Sound like that fucking thing from SpongeBob. Immediately. Anyway. Probably put a clip into that. But anyway, yeah, the QC it's unacceptable. And you know, as much as, and there goes Val. So as much as I like Figma and I love some of the characters that they do for the Figma line, and you know, the quality and you know, some of the uniqueness they bring, it's just, you know, we shouldn't have issues like this. You know what I mean? You know, if it was Hasbro or something, I could see that, you know, being you know, oh, you know, Hasbro did it again. But you know, I'm just really shocked that Figma would put something out with a QC issue like that. So hopefully, good smile if you end up seeing this. That was the issue. If we could get that fixed, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, so I hopefully by the time this video gets up, I'm gonna do a sit down. I plan on doing a sit down for my birthday. So I have the my birthday off. Sit down here. I'm gonna fuck around with some figures. I already have figure I have planned that I will be picking up. It's a little treat to myself for my birthday, that I will hopefully show off in that sit down, and we can sit down here and talk about some stuff, some Kotobukiya stuff, and just some stuff that I probably won't get around to reviewing just because, you know, either, you know, someone else is next in line for review, or, you know, it's just something I just want to cover quickly. And just get it over and done with. So anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and Action Figure Addict 112 out.